Today is September 24th, and we are talking with Boone. We're talking with the queen of stats. We're talking Yankees baseball. That's what we're doing.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy, Jake. Recaps galore.
Hey.
Weekly awards.
Oh.
Stat lines, steaming hot takes.
Boone drops a make sense.
Your Yankees news from these two fine dudes.
Just to let you guys know.
Time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talking Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's brought to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. BBD is in the corner. Before we get into the episode, I just want to remind everyone that the Talking Yanks faithful have been the first drivers of the company. It was the first project we had. Some of our longest listeners are our most deepest community members at John Boy Media, and we always want to let you guys know what's going on. First, we are working on a new project at John Boy Media. So if you have been with us forever, you like when we do new stuff, you buy into new stuff, you enjoy it, we have something exciting coming that's a little different and a little new. And it's going to be more and more as we go. We can't tell you too much, but if you go to johnboymedia.com/sign up, you'll be the first to know about some live chats, exclusive playoff videos, other stuff, John Boy Media. So just want to let you guys know before we start the show. Jake, how you doing?
Well, TZZs. Jim, Beaverton, everyone tuning in. Hope you're all having a nice start to your fall. Yanks. Hopefully we get another Selly tonight. And, dude, I feel bad, half missed the West Coast Selly. So now I really want to win tonight. I think I might even have a little bit of an energy drink.
Winning the division at the stadium.
Oh. Against the Birds? Sheesh.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
It's a good time.
It's a good time.
So I'm rooting for the Yanks to win tonight. I think we had a good at.
We did. We got a lot of good stuff coming. We bantered with Boone. We recapped the banter with Boone. We got sharp stats. We got a lot of good stuff. Boone was looking cool in his hoodie.
Yeah.
He's ready to go.
For the Jake haters out there, Boone may or may not take a little jab at me at the end. Make sure you listen to that. There's a good sharp stats, a positive sharp stats. I think even through some of the winning times, Katie's brought some things to light, which we appreciate. But this was a pre-playoffs episode.
I think because the lights are so bright in here and it always makes everything look so white, like in the video, your skin and the sweater look the same color. In person, it doesn't look that way.
I'm beige.
You have more tone to you.
Okay, the Boone thing may be a shot at my shirt. For everyone on the YouTube, subscribe.
Maybe it's your skin tone.
Thank God my hair's gone. That would have gone ugly.
You can't.
Just would have been a full target.
Your old hair and that can't be worn together.
Yeah.
You become literally like a guy who is homeless.
Well, let's get into it with Super Loss Coffee. What if I told you it was founded by two friends? Familiar.
Talking Yanks, longtime listeners.
Yes. The Super Loss Coffee people, good guys. Hung out with them last week. Flex. Their wide variety of freshly roasted specialty coffee delivered straight to your door with 30% off all of their coffees and free shipping. If you're looking to spice up your office, home, restaurant, whatever you got, wherever you drink coffee, give Super Lost a try. That was kind of their thing. They were like, yeah, anyone that signs up with us, they're like, we're good because we have good coffee. It's like, you guys don't sound super lost. But why don't you head over to superlost.com, use code JOHNBOY for 30% off your Super Lost order. That's superlost.com, promo code JOHNBOY. There's a link in the description. And yeah, I guess we could say, if you want coffee from Yankees fans, Boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom, Boone. Welcome back to another Bantering with Boone, brought to you by Beatbox. Booney, good West Coast trip, huh?
Good West Coast trip. West Coast was good to us this year. Guys played really well. Faced some really good pitching in Seattle, and we're able to get 2 of those, and then an A's team that's playing really well, and especially swinging the bats, and our pitching was really able to keep them in check. So good way to finish up the West Coast out there into an off day, and now we start another big homestand.
I said, what if? Like I said, why don't we just go win all 6? And you almost did it. It was pretty good. The division. Well, congrats on clinching postseason.
Thank you. Yep.
That was fun.
Good to be back. Good to be back in the postseason, and hopefully now we can go get the division.
Did you learn anything about any of your players during the celebration? Anyone, different side of their personality come out?
Not really. I wasn't in there that much. I kind of kicked it off, and then I was more, in and out a little bit. I peeked in a couple times, but if we get this next one, I'll try to enjoy it a little bit more.
Is there like a side party? Is it like, hey, Blake, Clarke, like let's not spray each other?
I did in my office with our coaching staff and support staff. So, yeah.
I think you won every series out west this year, all 5.
Yeah, makes sense. Because with San Diego, Angels, and then up to San Francisco, that was a really good trip for us.
Not bad. How are you? Yeah. How are you and the coaches feeling about these final 6 games? Like with let's see, with the division 1 game away, and then the Pirates coming into town, the rotation getting set. Like, is there any priorities that are standing out over others besides obviously just staying in a rhythm and staying healthy?
Yeah, I mean, healthy. Look, I mean, the biggest thing is we got to get another win. So that's kind of front and center and foremost for us right now, obviously. If and when we get that, then we can start to figure out what's best. And, you start to prioritize guys that are, beat up a little bit. How much you want to use pitching and things like that. So, that's for when hopefully we get another win.
I know sometimes you've disagreed with our analytics, but we're pretty firm on just get it done tonight. Like, just do it. Hey, was there anything behind the Clarke Nestor flip flop, or is it Nestor gets an extra day, or what was that?
Yeah, it was really just getting Clarke an extra start.
Okay.
With Nestor having obviously gotten over 30, and it's like kind of we valued the extra start for Clarke on that Sunday potentially.
Okay. Is that when you say value it, is that, I guess, how do you mean that? Just getting him more work, or
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So as we've built him up here, we've pretty much built him up full bore. We want to get another one under his belt because he's the freshest of the group, and from a matchup or performance, like we feel like it was kind of a wash. So we figured Nestor would be better off getting the extra day, and another outing under Clarke's belt would benefit him.
When I looked at the upcoming pitchers you're going to face, I got excited. I'm interested to see how you feel about this and how maybe the guys in the locker room feel. But, in this stretch, you're going to have Burns, Jared Jones, Skenes, I think, 3 games in a row. Those are 3 really good pitchers, which I got excited for because, you're in the postseason. We're winning tonight. That's clinched. I knocked on all the wood. Don't worry, I knocked on all the wood, Boone. I knew. I didn't like when I said it at all. It's kind of nice. You're going to have that break to, go get at bats against some heavy hitters, pitching-wise.
Yeah, I feel like, we've faced a lot of good pitching lately, with Lugo and Reagans and Miller, Wu, who else do we see in Seattle?
Gilbert,
sorry. Gilbert, and, who the Orioles can throw at you, and obviously the guys you mentioned with the Pirates. So I feel like, we've the last couple weeks have faced some really good pitching, So yeah, I mean, that happens in the course of the major league season too.
Well, I guess my
It's the
question,
highest league in the land.
would be for if you had the division clinch, which we're not going to get to talk to you in between. So, and I know you don't, it's a hypothetical no one wants to get into, but there's, resting guys or giving guys half games, or is it more so like, let's use these at bats against these pitchers to maybe throw like Dominguez, like go get as many bats you can against these guys, because this is the level you're going to see later on. Or Volpe, who's had a good last 3 games, been struggling. Would you see it as, hey, this is actually a great challenge, let's get them as many at bats as we can before, or would it not change anything?
You strike the balance.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, like where are we physically? Who would benefit from more at bats, less at bats? Kind of measure it that way.
Makes sense. What Jake Cousins, we think we've gotten pretty good at trying to interpret through the different pressers and everything. It seems like well, I don't want to say okay. I guess where are we at with Jake Cousins? Like, do we have like a live BP scheduled or anything like that, or are we not there?
Yet.
Okay.
Nothing scheduled yet. I haven't seen him yesterday or today, so looking forward to seeing where we're at. I know he's going to be shut down for at least a few days. Hopefully let this calm down. And then I think the hope is at some point during this week, ramp him back up and get him back on a mound, hopefully, maybe by the end of the week or whatever, but we're hoping it's minor enough. But, it was concerning enough to where, just he came that game in Seattle where the velo was down. He gets the punch out, and I just didn't want to risk anything. And then he was going to take the next day down from throwing, and then came in that next day and was still just not quite right, when his catch play and stuff. So we just decided probably better to do this than to give him a couple more days. And then all of a sudden he's in a game Tuesday, and that doesn't go well, and you got to IL him from that point. So with the back date, hopefully we give this chance to calm down and keep him eligible for the playoffs.
Okay. Yeah, it seemed like it's a big one. It kind of sneaky became like a big one. You're like, oh, Jake Cousins. Yeah. You're like, wait, damn, he's a big part of that back end of the bullpen. So hopefully he has the time to recover and come back and continue what he was doing. It's the pec, right? I feel like we haven't had a lot of history of pitchers with pec injuries on the team, so I don't have any like comparison or timetable.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, hopefully it is this kind of day-to-day thing and we get him going here soon, but we'll see.
With, so the rotation's kind of set. Cole's you're going to have to monitor if you do have the big off day. Oh, it's a week off for the pitchers. Just sim games, sim at bats is.
Yeah. That's another thing. Like, again, we got to, first things first, we get that done, then we'll start like planning out like, man, what's the week look like? What do we want to do? What do we prioritize? But we haven't gone there yet. But if and when something happens, we'll start down that road.
With since the changeup at the back end of the bullpen, Weaver's been electric. He's like locked everything down, looked the part, been awesome. Clay's still gotten a lot of higher leverage innings. I think he was the second or the most in leverage index until Hamilton just took over. It was another fun conversation. But with Clay, how do you see the next 6 games going and his role in the postseason? Like, do you still see him getting the ball in close games?
Yeah. I mean, he's that's my hope, and hopefully he gets into some key spots here this week and we get him going, because you kind of, if you're going to make a long run the postseason, you kind of need everyone. And again, trying to get him in spots where we think he can be most effective. And I do feel like he's throwing the ball well. So hopefully we have a good week with him and build some momentum going into the playoffs.
What do you think? I guess, what do you think is I don't want to say solution for Clay, but like when we've talked about Clay this season, like you've noted, like he didn't have the wild spurts that he had some of those last year. Like he's been getting hit a little bit. So is it like, do you look more at like, do we need to see more of the turbo sinker like going? Is it the slider need? Like, I guess what would you be looking for from Clay throwing the ball?
Yeah, I mean, execution. I mean, look, I still go back like the first, 3-4 months of the season, a lot of his was not bouncing his way. Lately, or, before, I took him out of the closer's role, there were obviously a couple outings where they did get to him, where, there were some, loud outings. So I feel like even since then, like every time he gives up a run or whatever, it's a huge thing. But in and around that, there's been a handful of really good ones here too lately. So just looking for the execution. I feel like the sinker's getting into a good place. Looks good to me of late. The slider is an important pitch for him. He's made some mistakes with that pitch that have hurt him. So it's again striking that right balance between the two, and then ultimately on us to get him in spots where he can be most successful.
The other little, not competition, but platoon situation, Verdugo and Dominguez. Dominguez starts, I think he started 5 of 6, and Verdugo was out there for 2 on the West Coast trip. Dominguez also starting to really hit the ball.
Verdugo started more than that.
Verdugo started 3. Dominguez started 5.
4. I think 4. G didn't start at least 1.
At the start of the trip?
Yeah. I don't know. I had it up.
Yeah, okay.
But Dominguez has been hitting the ball harder and harder with each game, it seems. Like he hit 2 absolute rockets off Estes. So have you enjoyed seeing him get more comfortable in the box and starting to square balls up? And what does the future of left field look like down the stretch and into the postseason?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, both are going to play. I feel like there's a role for both guys. It has been good to see Jasson get a little more settled. Feel like he's having good at bats. But Doogie brings a lot to the table too. So we'll just kind of work through it and hopefully keep them both very sharp as we go through this week. And hopefully they both play meaningful roles for us in the postseason.
Yeah. We've cast some ballots this year. I think there's a lean, but man, the threat that Dominguez can provide with the power and the speed, it's dynamic. And the switch hitting aspect of it, obviously. So,
and there's a component to having that on a day where he's not in there too, like having that speed, power threat, on base threat off the bench too. Like whoever's not in there, whether it's been a day where Giancarlo's been on the bench or, Verdugo's been on the bench and you have his defense sitting there as well as his bat the ball, or Dominguez's speed, power, it's made us more complete and whole on the bench too, and having, a real threat in the right matchup too late. So I've liked that component of it too.
In an odd way, has Verdugo become the platoon versus lefties? Because he struggled against lefties for a little. Then he actually had good on base percentage, good batting average, but no pop. But Dominguez righty swing has struggled as well. Like is that a balance you see?
I feel like Jasson's having pretty good at bats against some lefties though. I think his last at bat he smoked the ball short for line out, and feel like he's controlling the strike zone a little bit. So hopefully he can hold his own from that side enough too.
Hey, when Oswaldo Cabrera batted against the position player, righty, throwing on the mound, he batted righty. Is that just to not get the left side in a funk? Like a knuckleballer?
No, I think he treated it a little bit like a knuckleballer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. He got a hit.
Yeah, he did.
He also got a nice single that game as well. earlier in the game.
Slapped it the opposite way.
The other way, yeah.
And then
he's done a nice job. I feel like he's gotten better. I feel like he's become a better hitter over the last couple months.
He's really shining whenever he's like a little like a dust sparkle. Wherever he's on the field, there's like a little shine going on where you get him.
Yeah.
He had a great play. Him and Birdie connected for the final out of an inning when Leiter was on the bump. And he was at first. He made a nice pick. You pinch hit him for Volpe to end that game 3 in Seattle. Is that something you see being a tool that you can use going forward, or was that a unique situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the time that was Volpe was in that little bit of a funk. It was just a nasty matchup for anyone, but I just felt like in that moment against Munoz there, I just felt like what gives us that small, better opportunity to turn this lineup over and get Soto or Judge to the plate. So that's all it was.
It's fair. Do you see anything different from Volpe in the Oakland games, or it's just like, hey, balls found ground and one found the seats?
No, I thought he looked way better.
Okay.
I mean, compared to where he was 10 days leading up to that, I feel like, again, it's, I know what I see from the side, and but just load, move, way better, getting into strong position to where he can, impact the ball a little bit. It was good to see him really step on one for a homer to the pull side, use the whole field though well. So hopefully, that's something that he can continue here and be a presence for us, at the bottom of the lineup.
Made 2 nice plays in the field. I've made a lot of nice plays all year behind Cole. And then I think behind Weaver was another one in the 9th. They were kind of bookended the game. But when you're saying that and you're watching him and you're saying he looks better, is it more just rhythm or mechanics? Just when you notice a batter, are you noticing footwork? Paul O'Neill always loves to notice if a guy's a top hands hitter, or is he hitting with his legs or his arms? Basically, is he Mattingly? Or
it's just going to be too hard to dive into. I just notice when he gets his separation, how he loads, how his body moves with it. Is he getting proper separation? So
separation, that seems to be. What does that entail? When you for anyone that's listening that doesn't know, separation from.
I mean, it's just going to be too wonky to go into.
Too into the weeds. All right, people want to learn.
I know.
There's kids out there being like, "What does he mean? Separation." Okay.
Well, I was going to ask about another. I was going to ask about another hitter swing. I might get away from that. Well, Jeff Nelson, who when he's on the broadcast, Jeff Nelson kind of shoots from the hip. He like kind of goes for it when he's on the broadcast. He said, he said, Jazz and Wells are in a little bit of funk right now. Like it's baseball, whatever. He said that Jazz his swing gets a little loopy when he starts to get in a slump. Is that? Do you agree with that statement, or should I get that out of my head?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I see that necessarily. I think keeping them grounded, keeping them tight to the ball are important. I can't just seeing Jazz a little bit from afar before we got him and now have him here. It's amazing how explosive of an athlete he is.
Yeah.
And how much power he has. His power for his size is not. I don't know that I've ever seen. I mean,
when he turns on an inside fastball, quickness.
You watch him, he'll miss hit balls in BP out to Monument Park. Like it's the closest thing to like Griffey, like his power and just his swing and especially for not being a big guy at all.
Yeah,
make how much, he's got lightning going through him. He really does.
After we saw him for a couple times, we kind of did like a debate of most athletic Yankees, and it was like Gardy. Gardy's kind of unique, like punt returner athlete.
Yeah,
I mean Jimmy threw out Jimmy threw out like Alfonso Soriano, which I mean that's going back in the chamber, but he was freaky deaky 40-40, and like Jazz kind of has that, which is it's crazy.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, his tool set it's pretty impressive.
What you got, Jimbo?
I don't know. I'm excited for
Yeah.
I'm excited for the rest of this. I mean, I'm getting geared up. You're going to start wearing hoodies, you know, and it's like playoff weather almost.
I know. Yeah. Well, I always wear hoodies. I run cold. So I was, in Seattle and Oakland, I was layered up. And yeah. Long to wear, the whole bit.
I'm blanking. We had one of our warehouse blitzball tournaments last week. Tune in. And did Cole fight for the 10th? I'm blanking. Like, did he want to go back out for the 10th inning?
Well, I was once he got that final out, I was meeting him at the top step. Like, I knew that was it for me. And he's like, I got more if you need it. So
okay.
Did you see Jamison Tyone came out and supporting his friend?
Well said.
Stroman got in there. It was a little ridiculous. Just the narrative that got drawn from that intentional walk.
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy in live time as well. But do you think Cole really felt like you see players react to it? You're like, okay, so this bothered other people.
Look, I think he wanted to get back out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
More than normal.
Yeah.
And
all right. Like that.
And he answered that too, which, for as great as his career has been and as great as he's been with the Yankees, I say all the time, there's been a lot of moments of truth for him or like gut check moments for him where, when you look back on it, you don't think about it. People just think how great he's been with the Yankees. But there's been different times throughout his career here where, I remember going to the 22 playoffs, like, should he start game one? Like, there was that noise around it. And he answered that bell with, like, 2 great outings in the postseason. And he's done that over and over in his Yankee career here. And this was another moment. Everyone wanted to see what's going to happen. Yeah, I got 9 for you right now. So that's who he is. He's
he
has a Hall of Famer, and he answered the bell again.
You're right. Even June of 2021, he became the poster boy for a rule change, and he had to prove that to everyone, answer that. So yeah.
What are we wearing there? What is that?
Okay,
like
let's talk.
Star Wars.
That's not bad.
Like a Wookiee or something.
I think
it's like.
I think it
Is
just
it a mock turtleneck? I don't know if it's supposed to be up or folded. I don't have enough neck to wear it. It's not good. I can admit that.
What section did you buy that in?
It's
unisex.
Yeah, it's right in the middle.
That's him and Jesco shopping. Share clothes day.
That's right in my sweet spot, right down the middle. No, that's fair. I tried to be autumnal, but I'll go fuck myself. That works out. That works out for me.
Oh, hey, Boone, I was looking at matchup today. Interesting at bats. Gunnar versus Clarke. Gunnar crushes breaking balls from righties, and that is also Clarke's specialty. He throws mostly breaking balls to lefties with the sweeper, curve, and the cutter, which is a mixture. But those should be I'm tuned into those. Those are fun.
Okay.
And who are you voting for Rookie of the Year in the American League?
I don't vote.
Well, in this world, pretend you had a vote. Do you think Luis and Austin are splitting the vote?
Yeah, I think they should. I think they should split the award.
Okay.
The right answer.
They're a battery, so it makes sense anyway.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Booney, we got to get you out of here with the beatbox trivia. You got some beatbox behind you. The perfect pairing for a Yanks game. Do yourself a favor, hit the link in the description to find beatbox near you. You have managed 3 Yankee grand slams. That's horrible phrasing.
3 players hit
in the postseason. Yeah. Who are the players that hit the 3 grand slams in the postseason?
For us, or just in there?
For you.
We've hit 3 grand slams in the postseason.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Didi
Gregorius. Yep. It's a good one.
Oh man. Big G.
Big G, always a good fallback. What was that? Was that the Padre or San Diego?
I think in San Diego.
I think so. There's one more, and it's a I don't want to say deep cut, but not one of the big. Gio the God, Gio Urshela.
Against Cleveland.
Yeah.
That was a
fun
wild game.
That was a bomb.
That was a dude. Gio used to piss on some balls sometimes, and you'd be like, "What was that?" That was like 450.
Yeah, he got Karen checked, right?
Yeah.
That was funny. That was a very fun game.
Yeah, that was a good series.
The final score was what? It was 10-9 in that one. He also made a crazy play at third. It was the game of it was the Gio game. Yeah.
The Gio
Check
game,
out that Gio play.
Karinchak was bouncing that ball around, looking nervous as hell. And Gio was just waiting there. That was fun.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Enjoy Baltimore.
All right, see you guys.
See ya. There you go. Bantering with Boone. I think we have one more, maybe two more. We got to check.
We got to check the
out.
contract. Yeah. We should have done that before.
New layout.
Well,
new setup.
What you guys can do for the afternoon Boone post game is go to booking.com.
Booking.yeah.
Okay. It's one of those. Man, the postseason is almost here. We could see some bottles pop tonight. Go to one of those U.S. cities. I mean, maybe we're going to go, I don't know, Kansas City, Minnesota. I don't know. But you can book it with booking.com. Every U.S. city, especially the baseball towns. You can make a nice little weekend out of it. Whether it's a hotel, bed and breakfast, vacation rental, resort, whatever you look for, booking.com has it. Hotels that overlook the stadiums, bed and breakfast. I stayed at one of those. Pretty nice. It's a nice touch when it's done right.
Just any bed and breakfast?
The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your baseball rivals. Book today on booking.com and download the booking.com app. There's a link in the description.
I liked his answer to the Cole question because I thought he wasn't going to play into that narrative that Cole was pissed at all the noise. And he answered it and said, let me just say this. He was excited to get back on the mound, which was a yes, in speak.
Yeah.
Professional speak.
Right.
I like that. Like, that's good. I don't know. We shouldn't have to do that, but it was actually a fun way to answer it while saying yes. The Verdugo Dominguez thing is interesting. It was 3-5. Okay. Because Verdugo was like a guy that we were like, we need to find someone to platoon him so he only hits righties. But now his lane might be lefties because Dominguez is real bad against lefties. Interesting.
Yeah, I wonder what those actual conversations are going to be because obviously every Yankee fan is on the Dominguez train at this point. Like, Verdugo has not had a good year. He's been slumping recently. And Dominguez is as exciting as it gets. He kind of looks like you. He's like a good baseball player.
That's when I do my impression of him, for sure.
He's electric. He's got more speed, more power, maybe more contact at this point. So while being a serviceable fielder, I think the interesting thing is going to be, Dominguez has had some lapses in the outfield that you can't really afford. That I feel like
I'm chalking that up to Seattle Sun.
It says Seattle Sun, but I think with Verdugo's experience, just playing in all the major league parks, I was trying to. Boone's one answer there was kind of weird. That I do think at this point, if I had to say who's the better major league left fielder, I think I would say Alex Verdugo.
Oh, I agree with that. And they did defensive replace.
That I do. I did a little head tilt when he was talking about how much of a weapon Dominguez would be off the bench. That I don't know if for one of their pitchers, if they really valued left field defense that day, that maybe Verdugo would get the start. But I don't know. Like, I don't even know who that would be. Like, when CC, we used to run out Adeiny Echeverria out there as his defender. But like, who would that be?
Fly ball pitcher? I feel like Cole and Rodon are fly ball pitchers.
Yeah.
Like or Rodon's like home games.
We know how much left field has always been in the Yankees' heads defensively. That
I'll do this. Carlos Rodon, batted ball type, fly ball, line drive, spray chart. The pitcher with the most balls to left field over the course of the season, Verdugo starts. Agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Tracking, loading and tracking, loading the chart and tracking the chart.
Loading the chart and tracking the chart.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot. I don't think I did it in the best way. I think I should just do...
If a team's got like a righty stack with pull righties, it's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. I can do this in a much better way. I can just go team.
If Nestor gets a postseason start.
Yeah, I think they're going to do it on... Because matchup-wise, they might not face that many lefties. Okay, Nestor has the most fly balls and line drives hit to left field over the course of the season. 79.
So if Nestor
Rodon
gets a start,
has a second most, 77. Now, you would have to do
so that's close.
Yeah, very close. And then you'd want to do like percentage of the pitches in a way.
Walsh.
You know? Because Cole has 30, but it's very similar percent. Those three pitchers.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else you were interested in? He sees separation in Volpe. I was trying to lead that towards like, you know, hey, we're not just going to ask you beat reporter questions.
Right.
We want to learn baseball.
Yeah.
He didn't
like that.
He didn't like that at all.
Yeah, I think it's just like being ready in the load, right? Like,
Because I did a side by side.
but it's also tough when he tells us for weeks, like, you know, I've loved Volpe's at bats. Volpe looks good. It's going to happen. And then he says, oh, I thought Volpe looked so much better.
Yeah,
it's
those
like,
last
come
10
on.
because he's like those last 10 at bats they look bad. Like, yeah, man. Yeah.
Like the others 40
he wasn't
before
even
that.
swinging. Yeah, but the last 10 he wasn't even swinging. Like the one we watched live.
Yeah.
My dad was like, I can't believe you did play-by-play of that at bat live because I was almost texting you my play-by-play of that at bat. And then I thought I wouldn't bother you. And I was like, yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah.
Okay, so fly balls 300 feet or more to left field. So balls that the field is going to go back on.
Sure.
It's Nestor and Rodon in like a landslide.
Okay.
And it's Nestor as 39, Rodon is 33. So if you wanted to do that, you could.
So it's probably, oh man, the fun combos. It's probably start. Dominguez gets to start game 1 of the postseason. Cole. If Dominguez has a good game, no questions asked. You roll him back out there. If he puts up an 0 for 4, they might just go to Verdugo and be like, here you go.
Yeah, they could. Yeah. And then pinch hit him, I guess. But pinch hitting's hard. Can't really lean on that. Here's Rodon's spray chart. Over 300 feet to left field. Not that many outs, to be honest. Oh, a lot of outs. Sorry, not that many. No singles. That's the color that's missing. And then it's also erasing home runs.
Right.
That's Nestor's. Similar. So just keep hitting Dominguez.
Yeah.
But it has to be Seattle Sun. Like, I need some good plays because you can't have Soto and him and Judge. That's really
right.
Not a great outfield. But I think Dominguez has it in him. He just needs to get more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. No day games. Win the division.
No Seattle
You don't
Sun.
get day games.
No Seattle Sun.
That sounds great to me. All right. Let's go to Sharp Stats.
Hey guys, it's the Queen of Stats, and as we head into the final week of the regular season, I want to shout out Gleyber Torres' performance at the plate, you know, both since becoming the leadoff hitter and for the entire season, actually. So first, let's talk about what he's done since moving permanently to the leadoff spot on August 16th. He's hitting .302 with a 383 on-base percentage and a 448 slugging. That's good for an 830 OPS. But most impressively, he has gotten on base 62 total times, which is tied for the 4th most among all players in that span since August 16th. All right, now this next stat is only relevant, obviously, when he's hitting leadoff, but it is still for the entire season. So leading off a game, that's in the first inning, leading off a game, Gleyber has a 375 batting average, 412 on base, and a 583 slugging. That 995 OPS is 69% better than league average. Yeah, nice. And among all players with at least 50 plate appearances leading off a game, his batting average and OBP in that situation are the best, and his slugging percentage is 5th best, and his OPS is 4th best. And guys, scoring in the first inning is really important to this Yankees team winning. So when the Yankees score a run in the first inning, they are 47-10, an .825 win percentage. That is the best mark in baseball. When they score 0 runs in the first inning, they're just 45-54, a .455 win percentage that is 18th in baseball. So now for some more stats that's the entire season that show how he's really been helping the Yankees offense even when the results may not have shown it on the field earlier. So he's doing the little things. What I'm going to talk about here is a productive out. So a successful productive out is defined as advancing a runner with no one out or driving in a base runner with the second out at the beginning. And a failed one means the batter made an out without advancing any runners. So you calculate a rate by dividing the successful ones by the total opportunities. So his productive out rate of 46% is 4th highest among all players with at least 400 plate appearances this season. And he's also been working counts the entire season. So overall, he's been seeing 4.23 pitches per plate appearance, which is 7th best among all qualified batters in baseball this season. And he's also done a good job with situational hitting, specifically when there is a man on third and less than 2 outs. It's a small sample, but in 28 plate appearances, he has a 389 batting average and an 855 slug in those situations. And his 1.155 OPS is 57% better than league average. So Gleyber, he's been great since moving to the leadoff spot, but he's also been great overall this season in kind of doing the little things and helping the Yankees offense overall.
Whoa, how about DraftKings? A chill in the air, leaves falling on the ground. We got leaves on our set here. Football action is happening. You're passing. The number one place to bet touchdowns is the DraftKings Sportsbook. If you use code YANKS, when you bet $5, you'll get instantly $200 in bonus bets. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code YANKS and bet just $5 on any wager. Get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Promo code YANKS only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Yeah.
Gleyber has been great in the leadoff role. It's funny. It's almost there's no speed to be lost. Right? Like we kept saying, like the Schwarber leadoff role works better when you got Judge and Soto. Like just not that Gleyber's doing that because he doesn't have pop. But you don't need the prototypical guy because Volpe's speed was going to waste. Like we were saying that, and Boone kind of was like, what do you say? He's not a burner anyway. Whatever he said, but. The things that work, seeing pitches. Like that's the biggest thing Soto and Judge talk about all the time. Like they both like hitting third because they get to see more pitches, time up the guy, see what he's working with. Gleyber's been doing that and getting hits. His someone asked me, because I was tweeting stats out about Gleyber since taking over the leadoff, his numbers, and someone asked me what's his contact rate in the first inning. And it was insane. It was 80%, something like that. I can find the numbers. Which is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, excited for October. I've probably said that a few times this episode. B, the whole journey of Gleyber Torres, going back to the original scouting report, Gleyber Torres is good at baseball. And you're like, wait, top 5 prospect in the game? You can't give me one skill? I think his skill is bat to ball. And we saw it when it was adjusting mid-swing to breaking balls, and I think we've seen it the second half of this season, man. The first inning stuff is really cool. And, okay, let's score in the first inning of every playoff game.
Yep.
That's pretty important.
It's not just scoring first. You got to score in the first inning.
And, dude, remember for a chunk of this season, leadoff and cleanup were the team's problems.
Yep.
They tried to kind of force Volpe up there. It didn't work out. Cleanup, you kind of assumed Stanton or like Rizzo coming into the year, and Wells filled in that void for a long time. The the not speedy leadoff hitter. It's a good lineup to have that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When did Wells start taking off in the cleanup spot? Was it around the same time as Gleyber in leadoff? That was August, I think, 16th for Gleyber.
I want to say Wells was a little before that.
That's what I was thinking.
Because
as well.
I remember us having conversations around should Wells lead off.
Oh, yeah. We did have that.
You were kind of on the Jemai Jones bus, if I remember.
Hey, Jemai crushed lefties. All right? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay?
What did I say?
I don't know.
I think July 20th was Wells' first start in the cleanup spot.
Okay. Was I correct on the Gleyber date? Was it August 16th?
I see he got a couple August 4th through the 8th, and then he locks in the 16th.
Okay. So I'm going to look up the league. Lineup position 1. So all of leadoff hitters / line since that date. Because on the year, there was a lot of damage to be done. But how do we compare around the league? All right. We are in batting average 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 306 batting average.
Okay.
San Diego, 354.
Right.
On base percentage, 4th.
Oh, yeah.
380 on base percentage. Slugging, this isn't going to be that high at all. It's 1, 2, like 15th. I'm not going to count them all. But that's fine.
We got sluggers behind him, Jim.
Yes. And now I wanted to do the 4th, but I was wondering if I should change the date. Because, again, there was so much damage to these two spots that if you look at the numbers on the season, there's no, you can't recover it. So when do you think I should do this? Should I just do like August 1st, last 2 months of the year? I'll do that.
Do the last 2 months.
Okay. Since August 1st, cleanup-wise, where do the Yankees race? And we should do slugging. Rank is what I went to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Still not great. Still not great numbers. It's a 453 slugging, 249 batting average, 317 on base percentage. And that because Wells has had a tough October.
Yeah,
September.
Wells' recent slump chops that down. And, I mean, again, I'd have to look around the league a little more. I mean, Wells, well, I guess July through August, if you're trying to cook the books, July and August, Wells had a 941 OPS and then a 936 OPS. So
this is kind of cool. I can search September just by team and month. So the best slugging by a team in the cleanup spot for a full month was the Miami Marlins in July. 802 slugging. Over the course of the month from the cleanup position? Who the fuck was doing that for them?
Jake Berger? I don't know.
That's crazy.
Probably Jake Berger.
And the Yankees' best month of cleanup hitting, I don't think we're way down on the list here. It's a 544 slugging, and it's August. So that was when it was. Interesting.
Know who's going to lead the Marlins in WAR this year?
Who, Jake?
Tanner Scott.
How's he been doing?
Former Yankee. I think he's been good.
Really good.
Damn.
Padres are good.
Padres are good.
We'll see them in the finale.
Oh, yeah. Mike King pitching to Soto. Higgy behind the dish.
Higgy.
Wade makes a diving play.
Throws the ball away.
Yeah.
Tough. Yanks win.
Okay. Holy smokes.
Randy Vasquez gets some mop-up work at the end.
Hey.
He's busy that weekend.
I'm excited. Fall is here. Our desk is decorated. The mock turtlenecks should be arriving soon.
Today, right?
I told Keanu to be on the lookout. They should be arriving today.
Okay.
Impromptu show tonight after the game.
Hot Not or Bot?
Hot Not and Bot.
Should we play that with Boone?
Should we play with Boone?
We might have already
Go Yanks. Tell them Gunners.
Go Yankees.
Hey, listen to this. Go Yankees.
She didn't like it. She wanted to redo it.